Police responded to a disturbance at the 12,700 block of North Houston Roslyn. Upon their arrival, they encountered multiple juveniles and that were shot. The juveniles ranged from ages 12 to 14. They were all transported to nearby hospitals. Currently, there's one in critical condition and two in stable condition. Our crime scene investigators and our violent crimes unit investigators responded to the scene and are currently conducting early stages of their investigation. We do have a fourth juvenile detained and also an adult male detained. It is believed the incident occurred due to an attempted aggravated robbery that involved the juveniles attempting to rob the adult male. During the incident, the juveniles approached the male and they were displaying pistols. The adult male retrieved his own pistol and shot the juveniles. We ask the community for your patience because we are going to be out here for a couple of more hours or so, processing the scene, canvassing the area, interviewing our witnesses, interviewing all possible victims, and also the suspects. We do have also investigators at the hospital, and we will provide further results and updates on the condition of the juveniles that were shot.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, we have a few teens here that did the FAFO, and yeah, they have to round and found out. They did not pass go, all right? Because they're idiots. And maybe, just maybe, you probably shouldn't put a gun up to somebody, try to rob them, and, try to commit a heinous act. Well, for what we have here is that they are now injured. They are now in the hospital because they tried to rob a man on Christmas Day, and it didn't end well for them. It ended up pretty poorly. So what we have this here from In Wokeness is pretty much saying a group of kids ages 12 and 14 tried to rob a man gunpoint yesterday in Houston, and instantly found out that Texas men carry.
Yeah, good morning, Amy. In the course of the investigation, deputies learned those kids were just between the ages of 12 and 14 years old, and they tried robbing a man with a gun. Deputies say at least 3 of those kids were shot. One of them is still in critical condition at last check. When Harris County Sheriff deputies showed up here, they found one of the kids with several gunshot wounds. He was taken to a nearby trauma center in critical condition, as I just mentioned. And as paramedics were tending to him, 2 other kids were found with gunshot wounds. Both were taken to the hospital and are stable. Shortly after that, the suspected shooter, who deputies believe the teens were trying to rob, returned to the scene and turned himself in.
I heard some gunshots, sound like they were basically at my front door. And of course, as you can see from behind me, they were down the way a little bit. To be frank and honest with you, I grabbed my gun, which is in a holster, and walked outside to see what was going on.
It is believed the incident occurred due to an attempted aggravated robbery that involved the juveniles attempting to rob the adult male. During the incident, the juveniles approached the male and they were displaying pistols. The adult male retrieved his own pistol and shot the juveniles.
Yeah, so F around and find out. So, yeah, again, you just don't do something like this, all right? You do not go out and pull a weapon out onto somebody. Just don't rob people, all right? That's what we don't do here. And, of course, we have a bit more extra news with this from the detective says 3 teens, ages 12 and 14 years old, have been shot while attempting to rob an elderly man in the Harris County, Texas. The teens were all armed with pistols when the victim pulled out his gun and shooting 3 of them in self-defense. Yeah. So here's a bit more to the story here.
Ages 12 to 14 years old attempted to try to rob a man in this apartment complex you see behind me. Now, that's when authorities say that man started shooting in order to defend himself. If you take a look, this is video of when deputies first responded to this incident just after 10:30 p.m. last night. When deputies got there, they say they found one boy with a gunshot wound. He was rushed to a trauma center in critical condition and at last checked was in surgery. Now, the investigators say 2 more boys were found with gunshot wounds and they were also taken to the hospital. A few minutes later, they say the shooter turned himself in and a 4th teenager was taken in. Now, investigators tell us the shooter says he only shot the boys because they tried to attempt to rob him in his home with guns. Now, neighbors heard the commotion and came outside to see what was going on.
My neighbor right here screamed across the way, "Hey, are you okay?" And I told him, "Hey, this guy's down." So I called the sheriff department and the ambulance to come and pick the kid up. Of course, at that time, I didn't know it was a little kid. And my other neighbor came and held his hand and was talking to him and consoling him, trying to keep him alive.
Yeah, so again, this is what we have here is that when teens go commit these heinous crimes and what have you. And this is something we have to talk about. The fact of the matter is that where are these kids' parents? What is going on? And this needs to stop. Because this is probably a single mom that is raising one or all three boys, or each single mom, and they're just coming out and doing this stuff. There's no way in this reality onto where you can have this constantly be happening and not be saying, what is the real issue here? Because single moms, again, have a horrible record of raising kids that end up doing dangerous things in society. And this is one of those reasons. And we need to have these people in the home. There's a whole bunch of things that we need to fix here, right? In our country, in our culture. And this is one of those things. These things need to be addressed. We need to make it to where people actually want to be partners again. People actually want to date each other again. And that's not what's happening in our country. And in fact, most guys are just not wanting to date any women at all. And there's a huge decline in this. And I think that things like this need to be addressed because of the issue that is being posed here, right? And it's a huge problem. And right now we have kids are effing around and finding out the hard way. Now we have this final video here for you all to watch that kind of explains a little bit more about the whole gun situation, right?
Up in there and he screamed for help, and I went and tried to help.
Bruce Bailey says at the time he had no idea an attempted robbery had just taken place a few doors down from where he lives.
My neighbor right here screamed across the way, "Hey, are you okay?" And I told him, "Hey, this guy's down." And we called HPD or sheriff department. Call the sheriff department and the ambulance to come and pick the kid up. Of course, at that time, I didn't know it was a little kid.
That kid, investigators tell us, is one of 4 boys a man says allegedly tried to rob him before he shot 3 of them.
My other neighbor came and held his hand and was talking to him and consoling him, trying to keep him alive.
That same boy his neighbor helped, last checked, was taken to a trauma center to undergo surgery. Then investigators say 2 more boys shot returned to the scene for medical attention and were taken to the hospital. Investigators tell us a 4th boy came back to the scene and was detained. Neighbors were troubled to hear that the boys had weapons on them.
Of all things being at Christmas, and this is a child, first thing come to my mind is, number 1, where's the parents? Number 2, if you got here with a gun, what are you doing out here with a gun?
Yeah, so unfortunate there. Now, within the last 2 hours, I reached out to the Harris County Sheriff's Office. The PIO with them says they are checking on a few things regarding this investigation today. We do know currently they are processing several weapons that were recovered from the scene to see and really determine if they are real guns or BB guns. Reporting live in Northwest Harris County, Ugochi Iloka, KHOU 11 News.
Yeah, so I don't think that just because you're a kid is unfortunate. No, it's like if you're a kid and you're playing adult games, win adult prizes, win adult rewards. Don't go out there and act like an adult and then not expect to be treated like an adult. If you're going to go put a gun at somebody, why are you pointing a gun at anybody at all? That is the concerning part, because you shouldn't be going out and doing this, and you found out the adult rewards for being stupid. And another thing is too, she's all like, well, we're trying to find out if it's a BB gun or if it's a real gun, right? And that shouldn't matter, because BB guns, even though they sometimes have orange chips, sometimes the kids can remove the orange chips, or people remove orange chips, and then you don't know if it's a real gun or not. And by the way, BB guns can still kill you. It's harder to, but it's still a possibility. And you're not going to wait and find out to see if it can or cannot kill you. So, the moral of the story is, these kids, where are their parents? The big thing here is, and again, like the guy said, why are they having guns, walking around with guns for no explained reason that late at night? And why are they putting guns at a guy, right? At another individual? There's something like it's like you get what you get. You get what you were doing, right? Your consequences have actions, and this is the reality of it all. And they're trying to make you feel like some type of sympathy, like this is unfortunate. It's like, no, this is not unfortunate. I don't find it's unfortunate at all. I find it unfortunate for the person that had to defend himself and shoot 2 or 3 kids because the kids decided to be thugs, good old scholars, and it doesn't end out well for them. Like, I hate to break it to y'all, but I feel more bad for the person that had to shoot the kids than the kids that went out to go try to harm other people. That's the way it is. I think we should when kids go do these type of crimes, they need to be treated as adults. Because at some point, it's like you don't point weapons at people. We all know, we all have the ability to not do things that, like, doing, you might be going out and drinking, something like that, stupid stuff like that. Yeah, that's understandable. Teenagers do that. But teenagers don't normally go point guns at people. Well, the kids F around and found out. That's just the reality. And, you'll love to see it. Alright, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. Cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.